Thanks, Rita. Good evening and welcome to Look North. Tonight, drugs and weapons are seized, plus 32 arrests in a major operation in North Yorkshire. Thanks for joining us. North Yorkshire Police have arrested 32 people in a major operation against drug dealers. More than 100 officers and staff from the North Yorkshire and Merseyside police forces took part together, targeting county lines gangs who exploit others into moving drugs around the country. Drugs, vehicles, knives and a gun were all seized, as Phil Bodmer reports.
I'm heading westbound.
Stepping up the fight on the drugs gangs, blighting lives and plaguing communities. This is the battle against those defying county boundaries to ply their illicit trade.
Police, get up at the door!
This is Project Medusa, a major initiative between North Yorkshire and Merseyside Police.
Going on intelligence that we've received, it could be from various different sources, it could be from members of the public, it could be from anywhere. It leads us to suggest that there's information out there that these people are dealing drugs. Therefore, a warrant has been granted by the Magistrates Court and executed today. So that's why we suspect there may be some evidence in relation to drugs dealing inside the premises.
More than 100 officers are taking part, using dogs, drones, fast response vehicles, and all backed up by specialist support teams. The idea is to create a hostile environment for anyone involved in criminality.
Serious and organised crime has its tendrils all over the country, even in a county as safe as ours. In essence, it's to disrupt serious and organised crime, in particular county lines. So these are the people that come into our county, push drugs, deal drugs, and actually are the people that are preying on vulnerable people. So using people's property and premises, vulnerable people to sell drugs from it.
Eddie and Phil are with Ben and...
For those running the operation, it's about protecting the vulnerable as well as going after perpetrators.
We always have an issue with people, criminals, coming into areas where they see that there is a market to exploit. And that, I can't emphasise that word enough. These are criminals who are exploiting vulnerable members of the community. And we want to make sure that we are addressing that and we're making our communities as safe as possible.
A vulnerable person, drug user, either use violence or be paying them in drugs to take over their address. And then once they've got their feet under the table, as in they're sat in there dealing or storing the stuff, if the person turns around and said, I'm not happy with this, then violence will be used.
Police say these kind of operations to disrupt organised crime can be highly successful. This particular battle may be over for now, but the war on county lines continues. Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North.
An inquest has heard that a 5-year-old boy who died after inhaling a drawing pin was the light of his parents' life. Kyle Lewis was taken to Rotherham District General Hospital in October 2022, but a surgery team were unable to remove the pin. He was transferred to Leeds but died 2 days later. Kyle's parents were listening in court as the inquest began in Doncaster. Tom Ingle reports.
The coroner has heard Kyle was staying at his uncle's house when he is thought to have inhaled a pin. He was taken straight to Rotherham District General's emergency department. When his dad got there, Kyle was still alert and responsive, so much so he could put up a fight against wearing a hospital oxygen mask. But medics have told the court the situation was serious. Kyle was pale, grey and showing all the signs of having his airway obstructed. A decision was made to take him straight to theatre, but surgeons were unable to remove the pin. It was pointing upwards and forceps wouldn't grip it. A doctor has told the inquest there was no choice but to start an emergency tracheotomy. Kyle bled heavily and endured another 3 cardiac arrests, being revived each time. Later, Kyle was transferred from Rotherham to Leeds General Infirmary, where 2 days later his parents had to make the heartbreaking decision to turn off his life support system. They said he was the absolute light of their lives, and losing him has broken them beyond words. The pathologist who examined Kyle's body said the pin was still in his airway. She estimated it was almost 2.5 centimetres in length. The inquest is expected to continue here at Doncaster's Coroner's Court for another 3 days. Tom Ingle, BBC Look North, Doncaster.
Finally this evening, GB cyclist Katie Marchant is bringing home a gold medal from the European Track Championships in Apeldoorn. Marchant, who's from Leeds, is the first British woman ever to take the European 500-metre time trial title. She also won silver in the women's team sprint final, and after 10 years with the GB cycling team, she says she's now the strongest she's ever been, just 19 months after giving birth. An inspiring person. Right then, is it going to snow tonight? Paul's here.
Not tonight, but there are some snow showers certainly in the forecast. That the warning actually begins at midnight, but we're looking really towards tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night for potentially a bit of a disruption over the tops of the Pennines, courtesy of this little feature that's going to drift down from the northwest. At the moment, though, it's really cold out there. There's already a widespread frost. Later, we'll see just a few snow flurries coming into some Pennine areas. Elsewhere, it's dry lows of -4 degrees Celsius. So for tomorrow, a few snow showers in the west. Elsewhere, it's a dry and bright start with some sunshine. I think the snow showers are becoming really quite frequent, potentially heavy across the Yorkshire Dales. Bit of patchy snow getting further eastwards. But by the end of the afternoon, that sort of trailing cold front bringing some showery outbreaks of sleet and snow into West Yorkshire. Temperatures around 3 degrees. And we follow this weather front southwards. Some snow over the tops, west and south Yorkshire. A few showers further east. It all clears by the end of tomorrow night. That's the forecast.
Thanks, Paul. That's all from the Late Team. Plenty more on the BBC News website. We'll see you bright and early at 6:25. Have a good night.